Have you ever wondered what life would be like without the internet? Let's take a journey into a world without the World Wide Web. In today's society, the internet has become as essential as the air we breathe. It's our global town square, our digital library, our main source of news and entertainment, and our most effective communication tool. It has transformed how we learn, work, shop, and connect with others. But what if, one day, all of this vanished? What if we woke up to a world without the internet? To comprehend the magnitude of such a scenario, let's first consider the vast role the internet plays in our daily lives. It's not just about scrolling through social media or binge-watching the latest series. The internet is our gateway to the world. It's how we access critical information, from weather forecasts to medical advice. It's how we manage our finances, order our groceries, and even control our home appliances. Moreover, the internet is a vital tool for businesses and governments. It drives innovation, fuels economies, and facilitates global collaboration. It's the backbone of our modern infrastructure, powering everything from stock exchanges to air traffic control systems. But what if suddenly all internet connectivity disappeared? Imagine waking up and finding your smartphone useless, your smart TV nothing more than a dumb box, your online bank account inaccessible, and your email inbox eerily silent. How would you react? How would you adapt? This is not just a thought experiment, it's a reality check. It's a reminder of our dependence on this invisible network that permeates every aspect of our lives. It's an invitation to reflect on the digital age we inhabit, with all its conveniences and vulnerabilities. So, let's imagine, you wake up one morning and all of a sudden, there's no internet. Your alarm clock rings, but it's not your smartphone. It's an old-fashioned alarm clock. Picture this. You awaken not to the jarring sound of your smartphone's alarm, but to the soft, rhythmic ticking of an old-fashioned alarm clock. There's no screen to immediately grab your attention, no barrage of notifications fighting for your first conscious thoughts of the day. It's just you, the morning light, and the peaceful silence that comes with a world not yet fully awake. As you shuffle into the kitchen, there's no smart machine waiting to brew your coffee with a single button press. Instead, you find yourself reaching for that old percolator sitting at the back of your cupboard. There's a certain charm to the process, a nostalgic rhythm as you measure out the coffee grounds, fill the pot with water, and wait for the familiar gurgle as the brew slowly comes to life. While you wait, you reach not for your phone, but for the newspaper sitting on your table. The rustle of the pages, the smell of the ink, the tactile experience of holding the news in your hands. It's a sensory experience that no digital screen could replicate. As you read, your world slows down. You're not just skimming headlines, you're absorbing stories, engaging with the world in a way that's somehow more intimate, more real. And then, you plan your day. But there's no digital calendar to consult, no push notifications to remind you of impending meetings or deadlines. Instead, it's just you, a pen, and a piece of paper. It's a blank canvas, a day to be filled with possibilities and not dictated by digital demands. You're not reacting to the day, you're creating it. The morning without internet might seem slow, but perhaps it's a more peaceful start to the day. You realize that in the absence of the constant digital chatter, there's a quiet calm, a sense of control, a return to simplicity. And maybe, just maybe, there's a part of you that wonders if this slower, more mindful start to the day might not be such a bad thing after all. Now let's head to work. But remember, there's no internet. Imagine stepping into your office, not greeted by the hum of computers, but by the chatter of colleagues. The absence of the internet would mean a shift from virtual to physical, from digital to manual. In this new reality, the morning routine wouldn't start with checking emails, but with a warm cup of coffee and face-to-face conversations with your team. Meetings would no longer be held in the virtual space of video calls, but in actual conference rooms, where the nuances of body language and tone would once again hold sway. Without the convenience of cloud services, work would require a return to paperwork. Digital documents would give way to physical files, and storage would mean cabinets, not hard drives. There's a certain nostalgia to the rustle of paper and the scratch of pen against it. And while it might seem cumbersome, it would also be a return to tangibility, a break from the ephemeral nature of digital data. Communication, too, would take on a different pace. Instant messaging would be replaced by office memos, phone calls, and perhaps the forgotten art of letter writing. Instead of the immediate gratification of sent emails and scene ticks, there would be anticipation, a waiting period that allows for thought and reflection. The absence of the internet would also mean less multitasking. Instead of juggling multiple online tasks, we would be forced to focus on one task at a time, perhaps leading to deeper engagement and better quality of work. Moreover, without the constant barrage of online distractions, there might be more room for creativity. Ideas could be born out of boredom, out of quiet moments of reflection, not just from scrolling through endless feeds of information. Work without the internet might be more time-consuming, but it also brings back the human touch. After all, isn't that what we often miss in our digital lives? The warmth of human interaction, the joy of shared laughter, the comfort of a reassuring hand on the shoulder? In a world without the internet, we might just find ourselves rediscovering these simple yet profound joys of human connection. After a long day at work, it's time to relax. But how do you unwind without the internet? Picture this. The sun is setting, marking the end of another productive day. You've accomplished your tasks, and now it's time to indulge in some leisure. But the usual digital retreats are not available. No scrolling through social media, no catching up with the latest Netflix series, no online shopping. So what do? You could start by turning to the wealth of offline entertainment that's been somewhat forgotten in our digital age. Remember those shelves lined with books that you've been meaning to read but never found the time? Without the internet's distractions, you can finally dive into those worlds waiting between the pages. Whether it's a suspenseful thriller, a romantic novel, or a thought-provoking nonfiction, reading can transport you to different worlds and times, inspire new ideas, or simply provide a relaxing escape. But perhaps you're more into interactive activities. How about dusting off those old board games? Monopoly, chess, Scrabble, or even a deck of cards could offer a fun-filled evening. These games not only entertain but also stimulate your mind, encourage strategic thinking, and provide a healthy dose of competition. And let's not forget the laughter and camaraderie that come with it. And speaking of camaraderie, an evening without the internet could also mean more personal interactions. Without screens to distract us, we can truly engage with those around us. Whether it's a deep conversation with a loved one, a lively debate with friends, or simply sharing the day's experiences over dinner, these interactions can nurture our relationships and deepen our understanding of each other. Indeed, an evening without the internet might seem daunting, perhaps even boring at first. But when we peel back the layers of digital dependence, we uncover a trove of possibilities for relaxation, entertainment, and connection. We rediscover the simple pleasures of life that often get lost in the hustle and bustle of our online world. An evening without the internet might seem boring at first, but it also allows us to reconnect with ourselves and those around us. So, we've spent a day without the internet. What have we learned? We've discovered that life without the internet is not an apocalypse, but a different way of life. The morning was a bit challenging, with no social media notifications to start our day. But it also brought a calmness, a serenity that our digital lives often lack. Work was different, yes. We found that tasks took a bit longer without the internet, but we also noticed a decrease in distractions, resulting in a more focused approach to our duties. The evening was perhaps the most surprising. We found ourselves engaging in hobbies we'd forgotten, having meaningful conversations, and connecting with our surroundings in a way we haven't in years. So the pros and cons of a life without internet? It's slower, quieter, and perhaps a bit more challenging, but it's also more personal, more focused, and more connected to the world around us. While the internet has indeed made our lives easier, a day without it might not be as catastrophic as we imagine. It might even be a welcome break from our fast-paced digital lives.